Hey guys, I want to pop on, give you guys a short little tutorial of how I transfer my mica powders into jars. So these are a 3-ounce jar that I got on Amazon, where the one that I got them from isn't available anymore, but there are other sellers. I found they worked really great for these micas. You could go with something else. These are 1 ounce of micas from Counterculture DIY. If you haven't checked them out, hope you do soon, because obviously I will mention them a lot. But they come in bags. I hate bags for glitter, micas, everything. Do not try to transfer your micas when they first come in. They're going to be full of static. It's no fun. You will end up with a cloud of dust like I did. Learn from my mistake. So I did some research, did some Q&A, put this in the freezer. Needs about 20 minutes. These have actually sat in the freezer for a couple days because I got busy. And then I'm going to cut a corner, and you're going to watch how relatively easy. I'm going to move these out of the way so that I'm not pouring that color into there. This is, and you could cut any corner basically off. It's fine. But that will allow you to, oh, there's still a little bit in here. Essentially, transfer that mica. You're going to have some powder, and like I spilled a little bit on the mat, but I can wipe that up. But for the most part, it's going to be more condensed for you. And then I like to keep my little label so that I know what I have. And so I just cut around it. And then I throw the bag and stuff away before I get too covered. Put a lid on this. And as you can see, it didn't take up the whole jar. And then just a little bit of packing tape with our label. And able to just add that to my jar. These ones, because these jars are just a little bit shorter than the actual label, and just cut that off so that it lays somewhat flat when you're sitting it. And voila, pretty simple. We're going to do that 3 more times. So here's another one. Basically, whatever corner you cut, you just don't want the powder to be in there. I'm going to try it from this bottom corner over here. So I'm going to push the mica out of that corner as best as possible. Trim it. Makes this a little hole. And then pour this in. And just kind of takes gently pushing it along, shaking it. And it's kind of gotten, I might not have did a big enough hole. It's kind of stuck. It all tried to come out at the same time, and now does it want to? This is one of those slower but surely. We get there slowly but surely, because if you were to go too fast, you'll end up with a crazy, insane mess. The first time I tried to transfer, I'm telling y'all, it was honestly, it was frustrating, of course, but it was really comical. I did it with a Sterling Snow color, and it literally had it everywhere, all over me. This one actually filled up a little more. Oh, this is a 2 ounce. So that's why. I was like, why is this one so much fuller? It's because it's a 2 ounce container. It was 2 ounces. Well, that was a bonus. but you can see filled up nicely. And then same thing, I'm going to just go inside of it and just go around. You're kind of getting a rhythm if you do enough of these. I do this with all my glitters. All my counterculture micas I do this with, just because these big old bags, if I have a small bag of mica, I just deal with it because I figure I'll run out of it way sooner. But with these bigger bags, I don't like to mess with them. So that one I did a little bit better, so I didn't have to trim it. Looks beautiful. Yes, I'm going to be a little shimmery until I wash my hands. That's just with doing micas. You're going to be that way. Alright, I checked. These are still now 1 ounces. That just one was a 2 ounce, which threw me off. And this one is not wanting to give up in that corner, so I'm just going to go this corner. They do have an easy tear in their resealable container or Ziploc bag, which is awesome if the bags don't bug you. And last hole I cut too small. This one I cut too big, and there's some up here that is stuck and coming down. So maybe just do that. Get it out. I don't love a ton of waste, but when I did that one, as you can see, some of the dust is coming up. But these, like I said, have been in the freezer, which helps tremendously. When I did that first one, oh my gosh, everything in my craft space was covered in this silver sterling snow mica powder. My clothes, my hair, my hands. I was like the silver queen. I was like, oh my gosh. And my hands are kind of covered now, but this is nothing compared to, whew, okay, stop trying to get that last little bit. Nothing compared to what it was. All right. Mica powders are just, oh, I threw that bag away without getting my label. Oopsie. They're just so flighty with their powders. Powders are just hard to work with in that aspect. Yeah, ready. So pop this label on, and then we got one more. This last color I'm going to do. I mean, I like all these colors, don't get me wrong. This last color, oh la la. So, as you can see, this is beautiful. Love my hand. It's all shimmery. It's going to get really pretty. I probably should have did this color first, just for the sake of it being that blue. And as I can tell, as it's been sitting out of the freezer just even a few minutes, the micas are getting a little bit flighty. So the sooner you could do this right out of the freezer, the better. If I wasn't recording a video, I probably would have just poured these downstairs near my freezer and pulled them out one at a time. But I wanted to show y'all this trick. And this is easier. Cutting a corner is easier than trying to open it and have it come out of that resealable lip. It just doesn't work. This is supposedly only 1 ounce, but I was having a hard time. So I'm just shaking it back and forth, shimmying it back and forth just to help that mica settle into the jar. Because yeah, it says 1 ounce, but by golly, that filled the jar up. And that also tells me that it's becoming a little less stuck to itself, just because it's becoming more loose as it's warmed up out of that freezer. Alright, last one. just put this lid on here. This color is so pretty. And then I'll show you how I'm going to clean up my mat and my hands, so you can see that process too. This is Mermaid. It reminds me of a mermaid. So my tape ended up in the micas. I'm just going to trim that off. Not that it matters, but just trim that off. And there we go. So all this is garbage. You could wear gloves. Then you could just throw your gloves away and you wouldn't have to worry about your hands. In hindsight, probably would have been wise, but you know, it's all good. It's all good. Alright. Favorite cleaner, our rubbing alcohol. Truthfully, since it's on my silicone mat, I'm just going to do that. It's so pretty as it forms and mixes, but that will help, look at that, pull up those powders. And because it is on this silicone mat, it just wipes up so easily. And then that can be tossed. And then because they are powders and there's a little bit of residue still left, I will go back through one more time and just clean up any little streaks and colors. But definitely this mat has been worth the investment just because it makes cleanup so easy. As far as my hands, I could go wash them for sure, but I can also just take quickly with some rubbing alcohol, and this is all going to come off. You could also use hand sanitizer. It's pretty basic. I might have smurfed my thumb though. My thumb might have stained, but it'll come off over time. Won't be the first time I've gone to work with a funky color on my hand. So for the most part, that's off, and you just wash them with soap and water and you're all set. So I hope you guys enjoyed that fun little quick tutorial how to transfer micas into jars. You could use plastic jars, whatever worked best for you in your craft space. Hope you enjoy, and we'll see you again soon.